Welcome to BODS Mayhem Hour, your source for all hard rock, heavy metal, new metal, alternative, punk, horror punk, hardcore, rock, and all local bands, with your host, John the Bod, a.k.a. the Bodfather.
Hey, this is Kenny Hickey of Silvertomb, and you're listening to BODS Mayhem Hour.
The views and opinions of the guests do not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of BODS Mayhem Radio Network, its staff, affiliates, or sponsors. Parental discretion is advised. Welcome to BODS Mayhem Radio Network.
Hey everybody, welcome to BODS Mayhem Hour. I'm your host, John the Bod, a.k.a. the Bodfather, and as always, I'm bringing you guys and gals awesome interviews. Today, it's an honor and a very huge privilege to have Mr. Kenny Hickey of Silvertomb and formerly of Typo Negative and Seventh Void. Silvertomb is set to release their debut album, Edge of Existence, via Long Branch Records /SPV. Silvertomb has also released their third single, Rite of Passage, off the debut album. Also, check out their debut single, Love You Without No Lies, and second single, Waiting. So, Kenny, it's an awesome privilege to have you on here, man, and welcome to the show.
Thank you. My pleasure, the Bod.
Let's jump right in.
Why do they call you the Bod?
Well, I don't have a bod body because I'm down in cheeseburgers and pizzas all the time. So basically, it's just a nickname that stuck through high school.
So you used to be the Bod.
We'll go with that. I used to be a hunky bod. Before Silvertomb came together, it had been 7 years since the metal world heard much from you. Who or what got you to form Silvertomb? Who got you back into this, man?
Not who, but more like just, I did, around 2011 was my last tour with Seventh Void. Peter passed away, and I tried to give up music, totally. I was just figured, I got to figure. So I tried to put it down, I tried to put down my instrument. It didn't really work. 3-4 years after, I had ideas creeping into my mind and stuff, and I got the itch to do it again. Mm-hmm. So, I picked it up again and reformed Seventh Void without my original guitar player, Matt Brown. He left, so I brought Joe James in for the second guitar, a great, talented guitar player. And, that's how it started, really. I was going to continue Seventh Void, but then it sort of grew into something different. Started adding different instrument sounds, string sections, horn sections, sound effects. That's when we brought in Aaron Juice on keyboards to fill in all that stuff, and also trade off on with guitar and sing. So it kind of became a whole other thing. Hence, that's how Silvertomb was born out of I guess an evolution of Seventh Void.
Yeah, I really honestly think this is cool what's taken place from Seventh Void to Silvertomb. I like this, and I mean, I don't mean this in disrespect, like Doom kind of 70s style music mixed with, mixed with some 90s and current music today. It's what I'm used to listening to when I was a kid, so this is by far, it's met my expectations as a fan, man.
Cool, thanks. Yeah, I guess, a lot of it is, for me, I guess I want to hear the music that I grew up with as a kid. That's the comfort music, Mm-hmm. I mean, I grew up with Black Sabbath, Zeppelin, Pink Floyd. So I guess, that's what I want to hear too. So that's why it came out that way.
Edge of Existence explores your personal struggles with addiction, love, suicide, and the death of the iconic Peter Steele, which I wish he was still here in 2010 of Typo Negative. Writing this album, Kenny, has it allowed you to grieve, grow, and just let music be your therapy through all this? If that makes sense?
Well, I don't know about the growth part. There hasn't been much of that. But it did help me grieve, certain segments of the record, certain guitar segments and lyrics to help me grieve. It helped me more, I wouldn't call it so much therapy, but it kind of helped me figure out what I went through and kind of define what I went through, the stuff I've been through in the last 10 years. And I think I'm better for it. I hope. I don't know. I think I'm still out of my mind.
How's it been working with Long Branch Records now after you guys signed with them? Was there any other record labels out there wanting you guys as well?
There was a couple, but they seemed like they were the most enthusiastic and into it. And, I didn't want a lot of money, I'm not looking to be like a super rock star or anything like that. I just want a platform to play music on, And they seemed very, we had a workable relationship right off the bat, I'm not going to sign with anything too big that they're going to step all over, So they seemed very into the album, very enthusiastic about it, and that sold me more than anything else.
Writing these songs, and I know you've wrote a ton of songs, but did these songs push you out of your comfort zone than what you're used to, possibly?
I think I showed some actual human feelings on it, anger and frustration. So that stuff was kind of, it made me, it was definitely discomforted me. It was not my usual zone to go into, but I wanted to make it real, and I wanted to actually express what I was going through. So I just, went for it and closed my eyes and went for it. People want to make fun of me for it, they can.
The hell with them. The hell with them. Edge of Existence is Silvertomb's debut album. How does it feel to be able to put out a full-length album today, especially since so much has changed in the music world for bands now? And you know that just as well as I do. So much has changed now.
It's definitely a different experience. I mean, you have a lot of information, like with sites like Spotify and YouTube and Apple Music, where you could see, how many streams you get and who's listening to it. We didn't have that kind of information years ago. It was all in the record company's pocket, and they let you know what they wanted to let you know. And then also, it's weird because, your career is like almost based on an algorithmic playlist, computerized program, which is a strange experience. But that's what's running most of it, is these algorithmic programs that are linking you up and trying to find your fan base for you and all this stuff. So that's kind of a strange experience. But, otherwise, I think pretty much it's the same game. It's just on a different platform. Not really selling physical records anymore, too many of them, except for collectors and stuff like that. Everything's being streamed. The major difference of it is the whole social media thing, where a lot of it falls on the band to promote themselves. Years ago, you signed to a record company. They had a publicist department. They had an art department. They had all this stuff for you. Now, a lot of it, falls directly on the band's lap, which is kind of strange and kind of a pain in the ass, having to post on this and post on that. Sometimes it's fun, but most of the times it's annoying.
Oh, yeah, I can imagine. It takes away the promoter, man. And like you said, it puts you as the promoter now.
Yeah. Then they want you to get personal and all that stuff, which I don't have a problem with it. How you can't do that 5 times a week. I don't get personal with my wife 5 times a week anymore,
Yeah. And plus, too, a lot of bands are doing the EP route, and you guys went the full-length route. Are they any songs that didn't make this album that could be on I hate to say this, but upcoming EP? I'm a full-length guy. I like to see a full-length if bands can afford it and can do them. What's your take on this? Do you have any that's going to be on one down the line, maybe?
I think what's going on now, the reason why bands are doing EPs, first of all, is because it's no longer like it used to be an album cycle years ago. You put out a record, you do publicity for it, you go on tours, maybe a year and a half cycle, and do another one. A year and a half cycle now, you drop off the face of the map. It's all about your monthly listeners, and you got to constantly be in the game. So bands, instead of putting out full-length albums, they're cutting their albums up, putting out an EP, and then they stretch it out. So you kind of always have blowing out there and singles being introduced, and there's never a real gap. I mean, that's why bands are doing that now. There were 2 songs left off this record. It was originally a 50-minute long record, and it would have turned the vinyl into a double vinyl because you can only do 20 minutes a side on vinyl, and we didn't want that. You can't start a band with a double record. It would have been too expensive, so I chopped the first 2 songs off the record. I do not think I'm going to release them, because I think the record now is more concise and it's what it should be. And these other 2 songs, I don't think they're really going to fit in, and I don't think they're really going to fit in with the style. Plus, I have 27 minutes of the next record written, and it's taken all the ideas of this album to another level, to evolve even further. So to release these 2 songs, I think we'd be going backwards before we go forward. So I think what I want to do is get the rhythm section down in January when I can get a hold of Johnny. Maybe I'll go down to Texas. He's living in Texas now. And get this next record recorded as soon as possible so that when it starts dying down, I'll just bang out the next record.
So are we looking for 2020 release of the new one, possibly late next year, maybe?
That's what I'd like to do.
Okay.
Yeah, I would like to do 2020. It's doubtful because I think we're going to be going out, obviously, and supporting this record. There's going to be a lot of work, getting in the way of recording and rehearsing.
What's impressed or excited you the most just about making the album overall, if anything? Is there anything that sticks out about it for you?
Yeah, some of the lead work that Joe James pulled off, big mountaintop lead in Crossing Over. And some of my vocal work I was very happy with, very impressed with. And, those few things, And also, some of the backing vocals, like on Sleeping on Nails and Apart harmonies, and just the whole old school rock and roll approach of the song. Which is really a different area that we went into. We've never gone into that area before, so that impressed me.
What about the completion of this album? How long did it take to write and complete this album? I know you wrote on these songs for a while, but how long did it take to write and complete it?
It took about 2 years to write, something like that. We were in any rush at the time. Songs that we banged through that we ended up dropping. And then as the recording process was kind of, I can't say it was lengthy. We did 1 week for all the basic tracks in Pennsylvania in 2018, last summer. And then we went through the whole process of editing, drums and all this stuff. And then we laid down vocals and leads and overdubs right in my house. That took another month. And then mixing and mastering. We had it done by January 2019. So, working with it on and off. Plus, we toured between. We did 3 weeks with A Life of Agony in September 2018 last year. And that's how we first released. The first single was Insomnia, actually. And that was released in 2018. We rushed that out because we were going out with Life of Agony last year in September.
That is right.
So, that's about 4 or 5 months from beginning to end to record, mix, and then master it.
Yeah, and plus you guys had that debut show that you guys had, just a one-off spin, I think, if I'm not mistaken, because Johnny was talking about that the last time I had him on here. You guys are just basically getting ready to go out and do a premiere show, pretty much.
No, we did a few of them. We did the 2 Dime Bashes. There was 1 Dime Bash.
Yeah.
That Rita had in Jersey sometime in, 2018, early 2018. And then we also did, the same year, we did the second Dime Bash, the one in Dallas, which was really cool. And then we also, this is all before the record came out.
Right.
And we also did a show in Anaheim for the Schecter party for the NAMM convention. We opened up for Body Count. That was cool.
Any tracks standing out more to you than any right now on the album? I know, like I said, it must change every time you listen to it. I know you're very close to these, but do you have any that stick out for you?
For me, probably Rite of Passage. That's the one that sticks out the most. That's the kind of direction we're going to be pushing towards more and more. I can't say it's any one track. This is the truth is, the record is not a record of singles. It was never meant to be. Although we had to pull singles out of it because that's how you got to promote a record. But really, if you to sit down with the second side of the record with a glass of wine and dim light, and you start from Rite of Passage and you let the record flow, because it flows one song into the other, right to the end, waiting, that whole up and down emotional interludes, that whole thing should be listened to as one piece. That's my favorite part of the record. And
that was a very personal song for you, correct?
Yeah, it's all personal. I never write anything that's not personal.
Well, right.
So.
Well, yeah, right.
If I'm not writing something that's personal, then I'm writing about someone who's close to me, which often pisses people off. But what am I going to do? I run out of material. You can't always write about yourself,
That's right. Was it hard to choose between the current set of songs, which one would be the first single or video you guys wanted to push for the album, or did you have outside help to decide on this? Let's talk about that a little bit.
The first one we released on our own before we were signed. That was Insomnia. It's September 2018. And the guys picked that. I forgot what I wanted. I think I wanted Love You Without No Lies. I don't remember what I wanted, but they were like, no, Insomnia. They were right, because it did really well. So, sometimes I'm too close to it to pick it. And then even with these 3 releases we've just done since the end of August, which was the first one was Love You Without No Lies. Waiting was the second one, and now Rite of Passage, Crossing Over. The label suggested it. They said, we hear these as the singles, and And when I looked at them, I was like, well, these are three songs we all said these are three songs that are very, very different from each other. Maybe that's a cool idea and a cool way to go, just because they are so different. So we just let them pick it. I'm too close, most of the time to pick the right one.
What do you hope everyone takes away from these songs, or a message you hope they hear while listening to any of Silvertomb's music in general once all this gets out there, Kenny?
I think I hope it entertains you, entertains people, but I also hope they get something therapeutic, something emotional out of it, some connection, and something. I hope it helps them get through something, like it helped me get through stuff.
What about producing this album? Did you produce this album, or who actually produced it?
Ali Hassan is the engineer-producer that worked on the record with us. He's a very talented guy, and he co-produced it with us. We basically produced it together, and he engineered it completely. Very, very talented guy.
I know you guys have worked with a lot of producers, but working with him, did he get something out of you guys that maybe someone else may not have gotten, possibly?
You change any element of the band, and it's going to come out different, and especially something as important as a producer. Yeah, he had ideas. He pushed us in directions we wouldn't have thought of. And I think we pushed him in directions that he wouldn't have thought of. It was a good blend.
Joe James and yourself did the artwork for the album. What direction did you want to go with the artwork for this album?
We brainstormed it together. So Joe came up with this thing actually for a while to do like a Super 70s poster art thing, black light posters from the 70s that I grew up with. So that's kind of the theme we went with. And obviously we needed a subject matter for it. So I had this idea of, because I wanted to capture, because when I was a kid, growing up, we used to cut out of school, and we used to go behind my friend Tommy Fitz's house and hang out in his garage. And it had a Savarette hot dog wagon in it, and it had black light posters all over the place. And we used to just smoke pot and, blast Black Sabbath. And that's the vibe I wanted to capture from the artwork. I think we did. And then when we need some subject matter for it, so the whole skeletal figure in the front is taken from all the famous historical images of the ascension of Christ, when he's rising up into heaven above the apostles. We wanted to turn it into something spacey. So, wiped out the apostles and put, all planets and the moon, turned it into a whole sci-fi black light poster thing. And the central figure, Joe James got a friend of his, Rodrigo Canteras, he was a tattoo artist, to draw the central skeletal figure. And he was like, what do you want him to be doing? What do you want the pose to be doing? And at the time, I was laid up. I had just got an operation on my shoulder. And I just had my wife take a picture of me, and I posed like the pose I wanted exactly for the figure to be doing. She sent it to him, and he ended up superimposing and drawing the skeleton right over, my form of my picture. So it's actually me, and he just turned it into the skeleton Christ thing, which I thought was pretty cool. Came out pretty cool.
Yeah, I really think you guys knocked it out of the ballpark with it, because that's what I was going to say. I like the image of the skeletal figure, but I like what's going on in the background because it gives that spacey, like you said, black light poster type
sci-fi. It's the sci-fi poster art.
Yeah, it's cool. I like that, man. You guys need to make some posters of that.
We wanted the cover for the vinyl, especially, to actually be in black light paint. But of course, the record company was too damn expensive. They priced it and everything was so expensive. It would have driven our cost of the record up so much that stores wouldn't have taken it and blah blah blah. So that got shot out of the park. And it would have been cool if even a little black light came with it.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Hey, there's always down the road, my friend. This could come out as a special thing, maybe. If Peter was still alive today, would Typo Negative still be putting out albums and touring, you think, possibly, with how everything is now?
Absolutely. We would definitely be doing. We could still bring people in a room, and, we still had a large international audience. We could have went on and on to the end. Peter would have been just like Lemmy in the end, and 60, 70 years old.
And I think Typo Negative should be included in the Big Four. That's my opinion.
Oh, well, that would be nice, I think, I'm kind of happy with what we accomplished still. Yeah. It's a big resurgence for Typo now. People doing Typo covers, So, and we've transcended, me and Johnny did a signing. We just released some box sets for our Typo vinyl box sets and stuff. And we did a signing at a record store in New York City. And it was great. There's hundreds of people there. young people, old people, people in their 20s. So band transcended. You know, I'm happy with what we achieved in the time we had.
What goes through your mind, though, when you're doing those signings like that, or even at, you know, the Silvertomb shows, and you're seeing, like, all these Typo Negative fans coming and supporting you guys, and then plus bringing their kids to show them what Typo Negative did do and now to Silvertomb?
Oh, love, man. You know, that's all love to me. You know, people come down and support, and that's why I'm doing this. You know, I ain't doing this to get rich. I'm doing it to connect, you know, and if made any positive impact in someone's life, and that's, you know, there's no better reason to do this than that.
In your own opinion, Kenny, what does Silvertomb bring to the table for music that's not out there as of right now, if anything? I mean, I know no one's reinventing the wheel, but what are you guys adding to that wheel, if anything?
Real, true, raw emotion. Honest emotion.
When you come into the recording studio, do you like to do anything differently during the writing and recording process? Because I know that's two different concepts. To keep your mind fresh and open, to not get stale or not get bored with it. Do you do anything that helps you? Possibly.
I listen to a wide variety of styles of music. That's what I do. I listen to anything except but what I'm doing or what I have done. You know, Otis Redding, Roy Orbison, the Beatles, you know, Black Sabbath. My daughter's like 21 Pilots. I listen to 21 Pilots.
Oh, wow.
You know, I just go right. I take a wide cross section. You know, it's sort of like when a writer will sit down and in order to not write in somebody else's voice, they'll read nonfiction or something like that, or, you know, spread his palette around, kind of scramble that out of your head. And that's what influences me. You know, I could try to draw from a wide spectrum of music.
Are there any bands out there right now that's impressed you, possibly, that says metal's in good control right now?
Rival Son. I like Rival Son.
Rival Sons? Yeah, good band. Really good band.
Great singer. Great singer.
Yep. They put on a hell of a live show, too. Very good.
I haven't seen them yet.
What can fans expect at a show from Silvertomb who have not got to see you guys live as of yet, man?
To laugh, cry, and have a good time, man.
What made you want to become a musician, Kenny? What was that spark for you that said, yeah, I want to do this, if you can recall, possibly, or did it just fall into your lap?
Ace Frehley.
Yeah.
On the marquee of the Garden with his smoking guitar. That's what made me want to be a musician. And I was very well into music at that point, and I was just like I was 9 years old, but that just blew my mind. Ace Frehley.
I want to throw this out there. Me and Johnny Kelly was talking about this previously, and I want to bring this up to you as well now. Type O played their very first arena show with Motley Crue. Now, for you guys, it was a small crowd, but to Motley Crue, it was a big crowd. What was going through your mind, if you can recall that show, versus now to see where this band has gotten to?
Well, the first arena show was with Motley Crue in Jacksonville, Florida, and it was a flop. There was 500 people in the arena. Oh, we were so excited. We're like, oh, we're playing the arena, that's it. And we went out, and they had like half the room blackened out, and there was 500 people in there. You know what 500 people look like in a 20,000-seat arena?
Yeah, Johnny was talking about it. He said, do we sound good over there? Are we too loud?
So, you know, now we hope to play to maybe 200 people, but shrink the room down to them, you know, instead of the opposite way.
I'm so proud that there are still Typo fans out there, and there's a big resurgence of, like you said, of Typo Negative things for people, because your guys' music is never going to die, plain and simple. It's just it's going to stand the test of time, in my opinion, because you just don't find that good style of caliber music today, honestly.
I hope you're right, man.
Kenny, how can folks stay in touch with you guys? Buy some merchandise tour dates this album. How can they do that, good sir?
Oh, just go to Silvertomb Music on Facebook or Silvertomb Music on Instagram, and then you'll be able to get in touch with us, and you'll be able to see what's up and coming, what we're doing.
And before I let you go, would you care to do a promo for the show?
Hey, this is Kenny Hickey of Silvertomb, and you're listening to BODS Mayhem Hour.
Everybody, stick around. We got some great stuff coming up. You only hear these interviews right here on BODS Mayhem Hour and BODS Mayhem Radio Network. Please get out and check out our Facebook page. It has our podcast link, YouTube link, and also please subscribe to our YouTube page. It'll have anything and everything that we do for BODS Mayhem Hour. Also, get out and check out Silvertomb's new debut album, Edge of Existence, via Long Branch Records /SPV. That's coming out November the 1st. So you want to get out and pick that album up and give this band support. Also, too, get out and check out some Typo Negative. If you've never heard Typo Negative and Seventh Void, you will not be disappointed. So, folks, check them out and stay tuned. We'll see you next time.
You're listening to BODS Mayhem Hour.
Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.